Hello again, YouTube. Truth Man here. Channel is the No Matrix, No Simping, All Subjects channel. I want to talk about the Packers, the Green Bay Packers, and Jordan Love. And I told y'all about Jordan Love. My son brought up an interesting point on Facebook. He said that Jordan Love is making it work with the receivers, the same rookie receivers that Rodgers was complaining about. Ain't that something? Dobbs, Toure, now they got the other one, what's the name, Wicks, Musgrave, the tight end, rookie tight end. He making it happen, y'all. And Jordan Love only threw one interception in 3 games. If he keep up at that rate, he probably gonna have like maybe 30, 40 touchdowns and 3 interceptions maybe by percentages, if you play the game of percentages. What's that? Pro Bowl. I told y'all about Jordan Love, man. One thing about the Packers is we keep getting blessed with quarterbacks. And as long as he don't get hurt, as long as he stay humble, as long as he don't start thinking about like the tragedies that happened in his past, he just keep focusing on what he want to accomplish, what he want to do in his life. Man, the sky is the limit. And the thing we was missing in Green Bay is hunger. I was watching Rodgers. Rodgers would come out and he'll be shaking his hair, just trying to be like a movie star and stuff like that. Then he'll get his ASS whooped, handed to him in the playoffs. And then even last year, I don't know how I knew. That game started, I said, we finna lose this game to the Lions. We get our rematch this week with Jordan Love. We finna see. I think we're gonna beat the Lions, y'all. Now the Lions is improved, they good. But I believe we're gonna beat them. Because the thing about Jordan Love did what I noticed about him. Even when he overthrows somebody, or even when like they don't do something that he wants, he controls his emotions. Like he remind me, I'm telling you, Jordan Love, I see a mix between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. That's who he remind me of. Like if both of them was like one quarterback. Like he'll take off and run. He's tough. He don't get flustered too much. So on and so forth. And yeah, we lost to Atlanta. Atlanta just, to be honest with you, we didn't do enough. Like nobody individually can take the blame. If you want to say which side of the ball was more responsible for our loss to Atlanta, you got to say the defense. Because even if the offense didn't score no more points, the defense gave up enough points for them to win the game. So, yeah, they all was somewhat responsible, but the defense gave Atlanta enough points to win the game when we had the lead. And here's another thing that I noticed with Jordan Love. We don't too often see, like, we get behind in the game and we come back and win. Like, we ain't seen that. We saw it a couple times with Rodgers, but in the last couple years, when we fall behind, we just lost the game. We knew we was gonna lose. With Jordan Love, I'm telling you, man, if you want to say, okay, who out of everybody, who can you say did the most to help us win that game against the Saints? You got to say Jordan Love. I mean, we scored the same thing that happened to us against Atlanta. We did against New Orleans. And those are my 2 sleeper teams if you haven't been watching my sports video. But Jordan Love just refused to quit. We was down 17-0, man. We came back and won 18-17. You say, yo, but y'all would have lost. The kicker would have made the field goal. He didn't. All right. They don't always listen. Sometimes kickers make them win. Sometimes kickers don't lead them to win. You know, they didn't lose because of the kicker. He just so happened to miss a field goal. Hey, again, like even with the Saints, they gave up 18 unanswered points, man. The kicker could have got that, but think about it like this. The kicker can't play defense. So you can't blame the kicker. He just missed the field goal. They gave up the points, man. People be wanting to just single-handedly take the blame off theyself and put it on. Listen, man, Dobbs, them dudes was burning the Saints cornerbacks. They was getting open, and sometimes they wasn't open and they still was catching it. Like case in point, the touchdown pass. It was, man, that pass. That's how you know Jordan Love is something special, man. He threw that pass where only the receiver can catch it. He said, okay, I'm going to throw it to the outside a little bit away, but close enough for him to reach out and grab it. And that's what happened. Man, shout out to Jordan Love, man. Man, I liked it to pick. People was telling me, that's why I'm not a Packer fan. They need a receiver. Listen, the Packers, you remember what happened to the running backs, how people start looking at running backs different, and how the only running backs that be going in the first round is the absolute best running backs? Well, that might happen with receivers next year because of the Packers. People gonna look at it like, I can get a receiver that's gonna help my team in the 5th round, 6th round. Look at Wicks. Wicks was what, like a 6th round pick? That dude is good, man. He be doing his job, man. I'm telling you. So, yeah, he ran. That's some running a red light right there. So, yeah, you know, the Packers, I'm still saying we're going 11-5. And we're going as deep in the playoffs as we can go. I don't think nobody's invincible. I mean, just look at our game against the Eagles last year. Jordan Love is even better. So, don't count us out of the Super Bowl. Nobody has it locked up in the NFC. Right now, Miami looking real good. Like, it's looking like if the season keep playing out like it's playing out, it's looking like it's going to be the Dolphins against whoever come out of the NFC. It could be anybody. It could even be Detroit. You just never know. All those teams are like, it's like they all bunched up in terms of how good they are. And I just don't want to give it to San Francisco. They too injury prone. Yeah, they good on defense and they got a lot of weapons. And Purdy is coming out to his own. But I'm not going to hand it to them because they're too injury prone. You know, they too injury prone for you to say right now, oh, the 49ers is going to the Super Bowl. When they mess around come time for the Super Bowl and the playoffs and they got 4 or 5 injuries. So I ain't finna give it to them. And they beatable. You think they not beatable? Man, please. The 49ers are beatable. The Eagles have shown they beatable. The Patriots ain't even all that. The Patriots took them to the limit. You know, so I'm liking our chances, man. I'm not counting the Packers out of the Super Bowl. And speaking of Rodgers went over there to New York and was right up to his same old tricks. Telling dude, I don't even know you. You know. Bye-bye. I really wanted to see how Rodgers was going to do, man. I think he was going to be decent in New York. Because I think that fire done came back. You know. Well, I guess we got to wait till next year if he don't retire. I'm not happy he got hurt. I got a lot of love for Rodgers. I took a lot of flack when I told people that Rodgers was going to be better than Favre. I took a lot of flack. I'm going to say right now that Jordan Love has the potential to be better than Favre and Rodgers. I'm telling you, like scouts have said, they didn't compare them to Patrick Mahomes. I see some of Patrick Mahomes in him. I see some of Jalen Hurts in him. The thing about the NFL right now that I love the most is, man, I like parity, man. Like, I don't like when one team just dominate everything. I like parity. I like seeing different dudes tell their stories and react. Their reactions when they win it. You know, that's like a life triumph. Why would I want to see the same person every time? Like, I mean, I like Mahomes. I think he's a great guy. I respect Mahomes. But I like Tyreek Hill too. Tyreek Hill is one of my favorite players. I just like the guy, man. Like, if you look at where those dudes grew up in Florida, man, if you know anything, like if you be studying stuff, for him to be where he is right now, a lot of them dudes, and some of them is from Georgia, he might be from Georgia, same thing. Like Florida and Georgia is about as similar as Milwaukee is to Chicago. It's just similarities because it's so close, it'd be the same vibe, like. But Tyreek Hill is one of my favorite players, man. I'm always root for Tyreek Hill, man. That's just the way it is. And I like Mahomes too, but I'm always root for Tyreek Hill, even though he already won a championship. I like Tua. You know, Mostert, I always respected Mostert. How he did us in that playoff game. He beat us by himself. Watch out for them, man. Because Mostert, man, let me tell you something, man. Mostert may be the most underrated running back in the NFL. And then now they got the dude, the rookie, Aiken. So they got a three-headed monster in the backfield when Jeff Wilson come back. It's crazy. Their offense is ridiculous. They got Tyreek Hill and Waddle. They got Gesicki. Well, no, they lost Gesicki. I forgot who they got at tight end. He decent, though. I got to remember his name. And they got that three-headed monster. They don't even have to throw, man. They could run 50 times a game with those three. And they'll still beat you. So, unless something happens with them, it's going to be rough to beat them. In the AFC, I would say my sleeper team would be the Colts. I mean, you got to watch them Chargers, too. The Chargers, they start slow a lot, man. Dan Hebert just get mad and get to picking people apart. So it ain't gonna be a cakewalk for the Dolphins. But you know, they good, man. Right now, the way it's looking right now, I got the Dolphins coming out. If they just stay together, keep doing what they doing, and you know, ain't nobody gonna beat them, man. Their defense is good enough to contribute to them winning games. And I'll tell you something else. Cowboys is some weirdos, man. Like, they good enough to go to the Super Bowl, but something that's always happening. I think they be underestimating teams, man. And the thing with the Cowboys is they not good on the road. That's something we got to get better with the Packers, too. Cowboys ain't good on the road, man. Like, when they in Arlington, man, trust me, Arlington, man, you ever been to Arlington? That vibe will pump you up, energize you. You know? I lived there for almost 3 years. If not, was it 3 years? No, it was almost 3 years. Close to it. But Jordan Love, back on subject. Beautiful performance. Beautiful. I don't go by if a quarterback throw an interception. They gonna throw interceptions. You know, being a former cornerback, sometimes we bait quarterbacks into interceptions. Sometimes we get interceptions off tipped passes. It just, everything, you know, it varies. Things can happen in a game, and different things can happen in a game. So I don't really, a quarterback can throw 3 interceptions. If he throw 5 or 6 touchdowns and he running all over the place and he moving the chains, he still had a good game, as far as to me. Because defensive backs gonna get interceptions. Linebackers sometimes gonna get interceptions. That don't mean they having a bad game, you know. But that's all I had. Just wanted to talk about the Packers. Congratulations on the win. Looking forward to seeing Jordan Love go against the Lions. We'll see what happens.